Here's the story of Johnny the Mad Dragon, who had my mother up by his side. They were four fans, certainly obnoxious, but full of dragon's pride.
It's the story of the great Jesse Godfrey, with Big D Go-Go and Mr. Rob. There were Jesse's crew, so fierce and passionate, and the red V shine true. Till the one day when
Johnny met young Jesse,
and they knew
it was much more than a hug. That his group would form a fiery podcast. That's how we got the Mad Dragon's up. Mad Dragon's up. Mad Dragon's up. That's the way we became the Mad Dragon's up. Come on, Dragons fans! Fire up!
Well, g'day Dragons fans and welcome to the Mad Dragons podcast, brought to you by Complete Warehouse Solutions, a family-owned and operated business with more than 100 years of combined experience. Jeff and his team are more than pleased to assist in your Sydney warehouse refurbishment or fit-out project. Based on Commerce Drive in Lake Illawarra, get in touch with the team on 4257 1930. Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Ian and Mo in the comments, and some other guy that said he was first on. I'm not sure who that was. On Tuesday, the panel asked the question, which Dragons team would turn up? Asked and answered. 38-16 at home. There were so many things to like about that performance, but perhaps the most impressive thing is that we actually weren't that good. It was another game where we completed at just 72%. There were great passages. The 10 minutes just before and just after half-time was phenomenal. We put on 4 tries and blew the game apart. But what puts the biggest smile on my face is that we were clunky at times. We made a lot of errors. We have a lot of room for improvement and still won easily. It says to me that when we get it all right, there's no one that can beat us. And we will get better throughout the course of this season. A lot of heroes, maybe a few villains to choose from too. Looking forward to seeing who Hasman has in his sights. I don't think he quite knows yet either, but let's see what he goes with.
There ain't nothing but heroes and villains, more villains than heroes. What can you tell? What from the next? Can you go down from zero? There ain't nothing but heroes and villains, more villains than heroes. All lined up from the east to the west, black and moon or an infinite chest.
Yes, thank you, Donnie. Heroes and Villains, round 6, the sinking of the Titanic. You see what I did there? The Dragons are back, and how? The continuity that Dragons fans have been begging for finally eventuated, and the graveyard of Wollongong continues for the poor, hapless Titans. So many good performances. Like the Dragons' defence, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to split it. Tuapoloto with his double, Sloan with his, Flanagan and Ellis finally showing something, Sully having his best game in a long time. Who to pick? Now, I finally decided, after more deliberation than the bunker, to go with someone who's borne the brunt of a lot of my frustration over the last couple of years, and that is Blake Blocker Laurie. Now, so stay with me here. Now,
Yeah.
when he came on, we were just holding on to a 2-point lead. By the time he goes off, we're up by over 20. Now, you cannot tell me that that is a coincidence. 23 minutes of game time, 9 runs, 100 metres, 13 tackles, 0 misses. Well, you can, but I won't believe you anyway. Also, got to give it up for a man who is continuing the fine tradition of redheads in the Red V, including the late, great Lance Thompson, Ben Cray, and even Craig Stapleton, and that's Dylan Egan. 13 runs, 119 metres, 1 line break, 47, that's right, 47 tackles with only 2 missed. A fine performance which was rewarded with his first try in the NRL. Very, very well deserved. So we've done the good stuff. Now, unfortunately, we got to go on to the bad. Now, unfortunately, I can't give the refs any shit this week because, if I'm honest with myself, they didn't commit any major sins against us. In fact, we were actually the beneficiaries of at least 2 forward passes that went unseen and unpunished. I can, however, direct my wrath towards the NRL scheduling committee, or whatever they call themselves, for scheduling a Friday game in Wollongong at 6 p.m. How the hell are we supposed to get a decent crowd for this game when only the Illawarra locals would be able to finish work and get there in time? I mean, who the hell thought that one up? Although it might have been from the best. I mean, considering that, we played out a packed out Cogger against the Dogs and were absolutely shocking. So maybe the crowd isn't the factor that it probably should be, but regardless, I reckon from the NRL scheduling committee, that's a pretty crap go. So for that reason, screw you, NRL scheduling committee, and good on your blocker. Hope to see a lot more of that in the coming weeks. Oh, and before I forget, Liam, I know you're watching. I'm also giving you the finger for daring to suggest that I appoint myself a villain for not being able to come up with one. You, young boy, is to go and learn the rules a bit more. Even Sutton makes you look good, you absolute plodder. Back to you, Donnie, in the central missionary position.
Well, fantastic, mate. We bring in the rest of the panel tonight. We've got Hasman, who you've just heard from. We've also got Big T up there at the top. But unfortunately, it looks like we're going to be playing with 12 for the remainder of the game. Tony Habib, a no-show tonight. He was supposed to be on. I've sent him a couple of messages. He said he was all good, but hasn't shown up yet. Maybe he'll jump on a little bit later. But Billy the Kid returning from his syndesmosis injury last week. Remarkable recovery, mate.
Yeah, still kills, but do anything for the Dragons podcast, Mad Dragons podcast, and that's it.
Well, but people don't know that I'm not actually joking. You literally rolled your ankle last week, and that's why you
Yeah, just playing soccer, and I don't even remember how I properly did it. I can recall. I think someone might have stepped on it or something.
The blue whistle obviously makes you forget about it, mate.
Yeah, for sure. But they said 5 to 7 weeks, so I should be good soon.
Yeah.
5 to 7 weeks. You're better than Adam Reynolds, mate. Back after 1.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Let's get into it. The Mad Dragons podcast Player of the Year voting. It was actually really tough for the judges. I know everybody talks about the ego, Dylan Egan, but it was a pretty tough week for the judges to come up with who they thought was the best. There were actually 6 different players, so we've got 11 judges, 6 different players were given man of the match across the 11 judges. So it was pretty well spread out. So 2 players that were given man of the match awarded by someone don't actually feature in our top 3. So there'll be a couple of people that'll just not be too happy with the democratic process here, I'm sure. But the panel's 3 votes went to the Boom rookie sensation,
Yes.
Dylan Egan. 2 votes to the money man, Christian Tuipulotu. And third in the voting was actually a tie between Valentine Holmes and maligned half Kyle Flanagan.
Wow.
And so that was the panel's 3-2-1. As man, he'll be back in a second. So, moments of the match, you're on the Mad Dragons podcast, brought to you by Complete Warehouse Solutions. And Big T, might go to you first of all. The Dragons, they've released their Anzac jersey, and this is the jersey that they've they come out with. What are your thoughts?
I like it. I love it. It's a historic jersey. What the V stands for in this jersey is Lance Corporal stripes. I can't remember the Lance Corporal that played for the Dragons, but his name is on that jersey. And on the back of the jersey, his squadron number, and also the other 8 soldiers that were in his division. They got caught by the Japanese, and he was beheaded by the Japanese. So I love the jersey. It's fantastic. It's a commemorative jersey. Anzac. It was the soldier was a Lance Corporal, and that's what the V emulates in this V on the jersey.
Yep. So that's the rank. So it's the chevron for the rank of Lance
That's
Corporal.
the one.
It's the same as the collar. There's been a lot of comments about the collar. The collar is the colour and style of collar when Lance Corporal Walklake was playing for the Dragons. That's the reason for that. There's reasons for all the things that are on the jersey. I've got to say, when I first saw it, and when I first saw it pop up on my feed, my first thought was, that's just our normal jersey. Our club has done nothing. And I think that's probably the issue, though. The issue is that, like, the story. You've read the story.
That's exactly right,
How many people have read the story, Big T?
Not many, mate. I don't know. Well, if you're a Dragon supporter and you want to learn the history about the Dragons, you read everything you can find. If you're a Dragon supporter.
About 10% of the people that are watching are going to have read the story, are going to know the story. Most people are going to look at that and going, they've done nothing. It's disrespectful.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I understand, but I like the jersey. They could have put something down the bottom, a few more poppies or something, but no, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the story behind the jersey, but not everyone's going to know it. Most people are just going to see a jersey and think, well, the Dragons have done absolutely bugger all and have run out. And I've seen other teams do these sorts of subtle jerseys where it's not obvious to everyone that's watching. I think the Roosters might have done one a couple of years ago it just looked like a Roosters jersey, but you had to get up close to see there was words and lettering and different things in the inside of the jersey. But you had to be up close to see it. From a distance, it just looked like a normal jersey. That might not have been the Roosters, might have been somebody else. But again, they got absolutely taken to town because of that. And that sort of comment there from Jesse is exactly what I've seen a lot. To me, that's the problem with Anzac Day and the Anzac round is that's what people expect. They want to see the big symbols that they associate with Anzac Day. To me, this jersey is exactly what Anzac Day should be all about. It's not about you. It's not about the people out there watching. It's about paying respect to people like Lance Corporal Walklake. I think that what the Dragons have done is exactly what we should be doing for Anzac Day, not a red V made of poppies because that makes everybody else feel good. Like I think it's a great jersey. I think they paid proper respect to soldiers, airmen and seamen. Yes, I said semen. Grow up.
You're the one that brought it up. I wasn't even thinking it.
The jersey tells
you
the,
or not.
the story of Lance Corporal Stanley Walk, like with subtle references to the mission where he got taken prisoner, was tortured and ultimately died, saving the life of one of the 8 members of his crew. There's reference to his Dragons player number, his rank, and it's the names of the 8 people that were on Operation Copper with him, with 7 of them paying the ultimate price. There's his unit on the jersey as well, just on the collar, and it's got the insignia on the back of the collar, which is coincidentally the same unit that I served with when I was in the army.
Wow.
So to me personally, this is a very special Anzac Day jersey. I think it's an absolute winner. But I can understand that not everybody is going to love it. Moving on, Hasman. Mark Coyne joins the board, replacing Martin Newman. Some are saying that this is once again just jobs for the boys. Do you agree with that sentiment, or do you think this is a good appointment?
Look, I've got to be honest. I do not agree with that sentiment at all. Mark Coyne is a Dragons legend for a start. He has business acumen, which is more than I can say for a few of the board members, Peter Doust included. Don't know what his credentials are. He must just be a good ass kisser. No, I've got no problems with him being on the board whatsoever. In fact, I actually wish he'd actually replaced Doust rather than replace Newman. I'd prefer Newman and Coyne to be there than bloody Doust.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I tend to agree, mate. I got into it with a few people saying it was jobs for the boys, and it's like that's just such a cowardly throwaway line.
It is.
Tell me in what way Coyne is not qualified for this role. Tell me he doesn't have the right credentials to be a member of the board. He absolutely does. He absolutely does.
Okay, he's an ex-footballer for a start, so he knows what he's talking about. He's got business acumen. So where's the problem?
Yeah. No, I just think it's a cheap throwaway line that you see far too often. And what's the alternative? Do you want to instead get people in that hate the Dragons? I would much prefer to have somebody that loves the club, that they've got the club's best interests at heart because they love the club as much as the fans do. And he's a qualified bloke. He's a smart operator. He's a successful businessman, as been pointed out in the comments by a few people. I think there's just a couple out there that maybe need to pull their heads in a little bit.
So, Johnny, can you just pull up that comment that some guy called Liam Fallon's just put up there? Can you just put that up for a second?
Big T's been controlling this bit.
Yeah, I got that, yeah.
That was me. I keep trying to put it up and Big T takes it away.
I put it up, you take it away. How's Doust?
Is that the one you're talking about? How's Doust?
Okay, I'm sort of pissed off that he's saying that because it means that I've got to bloody agree with him. I hate agreeing with Liam, but when he posts that sort of thing, I have no choice. I've got to go along with that one. I
think that's been a catch drive since Doust was CEO, mate. We've been trying to.
Hasn't he got some sort of clause? Hasn't he got some sort of clause that he has to stay in it?
He's a Nepo appointment, pure and simple. He's only there because of his old man.
Yeah. I don't know. He's been there a long time. I think when you're a board member, you don't. It's like the Queen. It's kind of a job for life. You have to die in office or decide you want to step down. I don't think you can actually.
The way the Constitution's set up, it's impossible to get rid of the bastard.
Yeah,
that's right.
Well,
he set it up.
Many people have tried. Many groups have tried. They just can't get rid of the bastards. No, Jesse, change that to VB. I might agree with you.
Yeah, no, well, it's the same thing, mate. In the Crown is a VB just in a fancy bottle, mate. Exactly the same thing. All right. There's a few references Billy wasn't alive for. He doesn't know what these old fellas are talking about.
I'd love to have a douse with Brownie. I'd love to have Brownie with a douse.
It sounds like his old man's a Dragon supporter. So you would have learned from him, wouldn't you, Bill?
Huh? He doesn't drink.
The old man a Dragon supporter?
Yep.
Yeah, you would have learned all the old scenarios from that, wouldn't you? The old catchphrases. Oust, and...
Yeah, I seen those signs.
I used to like the GST sign, wherever that went to.
He's got a
Great
new
St.
one.
George team.
Great St George team, that's right. Yeah, it was very good. Some of our flags that people put up, absolutely fantastic, especially back in the 2010 era.
Yeah.
Someone in the comments will know. The bloke that made that sign's got a new one that's going around. You see at all the games now. So he's retired that sign and got a new one. I did see it somewhere, but I'm sure somebody in the comments will know what the new sign says. But it's something a little bit more relevant. The GST was a bloody long time ago.
A long time ago. Billy would remember GST back then. He knows it now, but when it first came in, it was a shocker.
Anyway, we can have a 4-hour show if we keep going around in circles like this. So we'll move on to the next part of the agenda, Billy. Raising the Bar Foundation. So before I ask you this question, we might just have a bit of a listen to what Raising the Bar Foundation is all about. They were raising money for this at the game on Friday.
Who are our 50-50 charity raffle partners for round 6 against the Titans. Mate, you want to tell us a bit about the Raising the Bar Foundation, how you guys started up?
Yeah, sure, mate. So we started in 2019 out of His Boy Elroy, our local restaurant up in Keira Street here. We started initially as a men's mental health group, the Barstool Brothers, and we transformed into Raising the Bar Foundation that has a number of different initiatives now, including Barstool Brothers as well, for men in the local community. We also have another initiative called Healthier Hospitality, where we train hospitality workers in how to manage stress and manage dealing in such a tough industry. And we train venues all throughout New South Wales in that program. And we also have our Veterans Initiative, which includes Walk With Us Kokoda, where we take veterans and civilians over to Papua New Guinea and walk the Kokoda track together in a real tailored experience that's built around being a leadership program for veterans in our community as well.
And what is, I guess, the focus of the program? What made you want to start up Raising the Bar Foundation?
Yeah, sure. Look, we wanted to start because we noticed there was big gaps in certain communities out there that we could really help. First of all, being men aged kind of 30 to 60 is a high impact area for poor mental health. And so we wanted to be able to do something to provide a means for connection, to fight against isolation, to bring people together, to bring communities together. So that's really where it started. And Lachlan, the founder of the charity as well, is a veteran. So being involved in those veteran affairs and being able to help, veterans of all ages be able to connect and be part of, sub-branches around the area as well is really important. So, just a sense of community. It's really important for us to bring people back together and try and get some of those in-person connections happening.
And how can people help the foundation, help support it?
Sure. Well, look, we're always after looking for sponsors, of course, and volunteers. We cook weekly Bunnings barbecues. We're out here with the Dragons volunteering, selling raffle tickets. So any kind of volunteers like that. And we're always looking for corporate sponsorship and corporate people to get involved in the local area as well.
There we have it. Billy, I know one of our panel members, Benny O'Brien. He hates when we talk about anything that's not footy related. But how important is it for the club to be making connections and raising awareness for the things like this within our community?
I think it's great. There's a lot of people out there that struggle with mental health and stress and stuff. So whether they're connected with Dragons and stuff is really good. It brings the community together, and it's a sense of, how I explain. Dragons have just been on the up with this sort of stuff, like 2, 3, 4 years ago under Griffin. I don't think we would have done this sort of stuff. So it's good to see that we're getting out there and helping our community out.
Yeah, no, always fantastic. It's just little partnerships for this, like this, raising awareness of these things that exist within our community. And if people are struggling, then they've got there's a lot of different avenues, a lot of different pathways you can go down. Barstool Brothers to me sounds like something I wouldn't mind being involved in either. Just going sitting down on the barstool with your Dragon's brother and having a brew and a chat.
Any brother, any brother.
Yeah, well, I'm just talking about it for the Dragons, but I mean Dragons area. So I mean sitting down with your Dragons brother and having a chat and a beer and might be just be a little thing. Have a quick chat and you might save someone's life. Like
Exactly right.
It is that serious, and that little bit of connection in the community can make all the difference. All right. Big T.
Yes.
Extension for Christian Tuipulotu for 1 year. Obviously, everyone loves CT, but were you disappointed that it was only a 1 year extension?
Yeah, I would like to see it too. Give him a 2-year extension to end of 2027, end of 2026 now. But if he goes up 1 year at a time, if he gets another one of the Dragons, he'll get a 2-year contract, I reckon. So, yeah, I would have liked to see 2.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that he's a guy, Fox Sports announced that he is statistically the best winger in the entire competition.
Yeah, I read that, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching it as Fox were trying to present this idea to Mal Meninga, and Mal Meninga was not buying it at all. He's like, maybe based on those statistics, but there's a lot of great wingers in our competition. But still, he's going pretty damn well. All right. Before the game started, Hasman, Dylan Egan aimed to start with Luciano Leilua reverting back to the bench. We'll talk a bit more about Egan. You've already spoken about Egan yourself. But is Luciano Leilua a bench forward for the rest of the season?
Yes.
Well, based on that performance, I think he's got to be. I think he's more of an impact back rower, if there is such a thing, than a starter. I mean, you saw the way that Dylan Egan was absolutely killing it, and then you got to be able to have someone like Leilua, when he came on, he had an immediate impact. I think he actually laid off the pass for Val Holmes when he scored his try. So no, I would dead set keep him as a bench player.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Billy, is that something that you agree with? Because I know you thought Luciano Leilua had an absolute blinder.
Yeah, I had him as my man of the match. So people may disagree with me, but he came on and he got involved in the second and third try. I don't know if he ran a decoy or he put Holmes through to give, and for Holmes to give Gutho the pass. But he came, like Hasman said, he came on, immediate impact. It's great. And I hadn't seen that from him all season when he started. So, I think if we can keep that system going, for sure, 100%. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think he's certainly going to be on the bench for a little while after that performance from Dylan Egan. He sort of locked down that side defensively, did everything that he was supposed to do, was dangerous with his touches of the ball. So I think that he had a very good game.
I think it might go game for game, Donny. Sorry, you're going to talk to me anyway. I think it might be going game for game anyway, like different games with different players starting the game anyway. So I think they'll be on and off the bench all year.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that's true. I think with second rowers, they play the full 80 minutes. So I think Luch provides good impact off the bench.
He does.
I can't think of a scenario where you would change that. I get that for the middle forwards, but certainly, for Luch, I think for now he's going to be that impact player off the bench, and if he can keep having an impact like he did in this game, then I think all the better for it.
Yeah.
Big T, the first half hour was a bit of a grind, but there
Was.
was one thing that we spoke about on the show last week that I noticed had improved, and that was offloading. Toby Couchman and Jack DeBellin with 4 offloads each, 3 from Jaden Seward, overall 17 offloads.
Yeah,
We were playing some footy off the back of that second phase play. Do
we
you
were.
think that Flano watched the show and implemented our strategy, or is it just a
For
case
sure.
of great minds think alike?
For sure. Positive. Absolutely positive that he watched our show. And he's taken all our good ideas. But with offloads, Donny, I'd like to see, because we had about 10 to 2 offloads in the first half or something it was, and that 2 offloads came from David Fafita. But yeah, I'd like to see gains and losses with offloads, because a lot of offloads go back and we lose 5 metres, and offloads go back and we make 10 metres. Like, it's got to be you can't have 10 offloads and lose 50 metres. So I think that's a bit of a fake stat, that one.
Well, I certainly don't think it was a fake stat for us on the weekend, because Toby Couchman, the offload from him created space for Jack to build.
Yeah, I understand, yeah.
Breaks and like we were definitely gaining from those offloads.
Yeah,
so
sometimes you don't. So
I get what you're saying, but I just think for the Dragons, we need offloads.
Yes.
Like, we're completely devoid of ideas if we don't have that second phase play. I think we play really well off it.
How good did our halves play off the offloads? They played a great game this weekend. Absolutely fantastic game out this weekend. They delivered the ball to where it had to be, and we scored out wide. St. Slane scored 2, Providence scored 2. So they got the ball to the places where we needed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about the halves, mate. I think Kyle Flanagan had a really good game. He played with a lot of energy. To me, I actually think Lachlan Elias was better the week before against Parramatta, because we won easily. Everyone says,
true.
All of a sudden the pressure comes off Lachlan Elias. I don't think he was in our worst couple of players on the field. I didn't think he had a very good game at all. But we won, so no one wants to talk about that.
That's the point. Did he just look good because we played better?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Again,
talking about him is because we won. If we'd lost that game by 20 or lost it by 2, would we still be saying, drop him?
Yes. Yeah, winning papers over cracks, and that's always that's always a bit of an issue. But I didn't think Lachlan Elias was as bad as everyone made out against Parramatta, and I don't think he was as good as people are making out he was in this game. I didn't think he was very good at all. I thought he was one of the worst players on the field in that first half an hour. There was a couple of times where he got the ball and it just died with him. There was times where he tried to put on plays, and it's like, what the fuck are you trying to do, mate? Like, just did not look like he was NRL standard at all. There were some good things he did towards the back end of the game, but hasn't it?
I still think his kicking game's pretty bloody good. It just so happened that Flano, to his credit, seemed to sort of go up a notch or two, and maybe the attack was more focused on him rather than Ilias, because Ilias was still doing those bombs to absolutely nowhere, like straight down the throat of the opposition. It's pretty much what he does. He's Ben Hunt on less money, basically, as far as I can see. But I just think
I wish he was half as good as Ben Hunt, mate. Like, he's nowhere near as good as Ben Hunt.
Well, that remains to be seen. But I just got this feeling like, okay, South let him go for a reason, and I think we're starting to see what that reason is.
Yeah, I don't think he's totally incapable. As I said, I think apart from the finish to the Parramatta game where he kicked the ball out on the full, like if the game finishes in regular time against Parramatta, I'm giving Lachlan Ilias votes. I've got him getting the one vote in that game. I think he was actually pretty good. I thought he was pretty decent in that game. Had a terrible finish to the game that ultimately cost us the game, and everybody wants to sack him and lynch him based on that one moment. The game is 80 minutes long, and again, I think we win this game. So people say that he was good when I don't think he was good in this game. I thought he was pretty average. So. Yeah, I don't know. I think people get differing opinions on players based on whether we win or lose. Again, if Blake Laurie had done exactly what he did this week and we lost the game, I think the knives would be out for him too. Like, it doesn't matter how players actually play. It's whether we get a result or not.
Not from me, Donny.
Depends on
Not from me.
Well,
Not from me.
maybe not, mate.
I just want to make that absolutely clear.
And you did.
Speaking of Blake Laurie, Billy, I don't know who we're up to. We're all over the place. That wasn't on the agenda, that whole conversation. Big T brought it up, so I decided to we may as well talk about it.
If you want to talk about Blake Laurie, you're talking to the wrong guy.
We want to talk Blake Laurie now. On the tick of the 30th minute, Blake Laurie comes on the field with the score tied as a nun's nasty at 6-4. 90 seconds later, 90 seconds after Blake Laurie comes on the field, we score. 10 minutes into the second half, Laurie goes off and the game is over at 28-4. Did Blake Laurie win us this game by himself, Billy?
Yes.
100%. 100%. He was great, though. Like, he was really, really good. That's probably the best game he's had for a while now. Obviously, last year carrying, I think it was a rib injury. 2022, he was great. 2023, he was great. He's getting back to that form again. Gotta love to see it.
Yeah. Still only 22 minutes. Still only 22 minutes of game time. Comes on, but in that 22 minutes, runs for 100 metres. Do you think do you think the fans value run meters more than they do tackles? Because there was a gap. His first game, he played 18 minutes. He played 20 minutes, made 20 tackles in 20 minutes, was absolutely phenomenal defensively, didn't miss a tackle, but only had a couple of runs. But this game, he probably didn't make quite as many tackles, but he ran for 100 metres in 22 minutes. Do you think that people value run meters a lot more than tackles?
They must. I think both sides of the game are just as important. And Blake Laurie looks really freaking fit. So he's getting all the basics right. He doesn't miss tackles too often. I think his tackle efficiency's got to be up there. And he's just doing his job. And people still try and find a way to say, oh, you've got to drop him, you've got to drop him. But he's playing. He's doing what he's doing his job. So I don't know why you would drop him.
Yeah, and there's one of those comments from George Cheds. He said for 22 minutes I'd be bleeding the young guys into the side. We've got Dylan Egan playing 80 minutes. He's one of the young guys. We've got Hamish Stewart has played every game. He's one of the young guys. We've got Toby Couchman, who's our starting front rower. He's one of the young guys. How many of these young guys do you want to bleed into the side? You don't need to have all of the young guys in the side at the same time. Blocker can play a role like that, and he showed that he's capable of doing that and did a good job for us on the weekend. So I think you picked the best man for the job, and I think Blocker answered a lot of critics by showing that he can play that role. I myself was even critical, saying that Blocker isn't the man to be playing that 20-minute role, but I think he did a good job of it on the weekend. He's got to back that up again, though, this weekend in a tough one against Manly. But, I sort of joked that Blocker won the game by himself. Obviously, he didn't, but he cops all the blame for his 19-minute performance whenever we lose. So it stands to reason that he should also get all the credit when we win. But in all seriousness, Hasman, it was a great period in that 10 minutes leading up to half-time with 3 tries. Was there anything in particular that changed for either team that led to this purple patch? I mean, apart from Blake Laurie, obviously.
No, it was all Blake Laurie. Blake Laurie comes on. he does what he does, and all of a sudden we're scoring tries like it's going out of fashion. It's that simple.
Yeah, we can do it.
Blake Laurie is the man. That's that's basically it.
Okay. I don't think Hasman heard the bit where I said in all seriousness, but okay. Yeah.
No, I did hear it. I just chose to ignore it.
Yeah. Now, that's the sort of analysis you get here on the Mad Dragons podcast. It's just straight out shit talk. All right. Just after the break, Billy, just after the break, we scored another try, and it was the money man was back. He didn't do his money man celebration for the first try, but did break it out for his second. What were your thoughts on Tuapolotu's game?
Yeah, until the hamstring injury. Obviously, I thought he played well. Every right to do the money celebration when we're up by that much. As long as we're not up by 12 or down by 18, we'll do it. So, it's good to see. You gotta love his energy that he brings. Like, that's got to be the best thing in the world. I would love it if I had a teammate like that, and I do. I think I'm the teammate like that. Unfortunately, I'm out, but when you have a teammate that brings energy on the field, on and off the field, actually, it's a better club and a culture. So do it all as much as you want if we're winning by a lot.
Yeah, no, he loves scoring tries, and the energy that he brings to the side is really.
He was even doing it on the bench. He was even doing it on the bench when Egan scored, or there was Egan scored. Yeah.
He was doing these ones, right? The money man. Yeah. All right, Big T, Val Holmes, featured in the try scorers and as well as scoring a try, setting one up, creating a couple of line breaks.
Yeah.
It also looked like his goal kicking is back. Is Val back to his best after a slowish start to the year?
Yeah, I think he might have been missing North Queensland for a while there, and then realised that the Wollongong beaches are better beaches anyway. So he's come into his own now, scoring tries. He made the break for the Kyle Flanagan try. So yeah, I think he's coming into his own again now, and we need it. We need it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think certainly in attack he's doing a fantastic job, and it was great to see him nail a couple from the sideline. I know. I wish Tony did come on, Tony Abib, that is, not Big T, because I know he was saying that there's not enough people talking about the goal kicking, particularly the one from Sloan's side of the field where it went out that way and then came back in like an absolute screamer.
There was a big wind down there at times too. You see the ball when the bombs went up. They held up in the air. They didn't go too far, 20 metres, but they just held up and they stayed there and it come down. It was a big wind heading north, so big southerly coming through. So done well.
Yep. All right. Well, Hasman at 34 points to 10, with 14 minutes to go. The Titans had a player sent to the sin bin. Were you disappointed that from that point we didn't put the Titans to the sword and go on and post 50-plus points?
Not particularly. I was just happy with the lead that we had at that point. If we could hold that lead, maybe get a try or two, then fine. But no, I wasn't disappointed that we didn't sort of blow them off the park. I thought at that point I figured job done. Let's just make sure that don't too many tries and we move on to next week.
Yes, but see, for me, that's a really disappointing attitude from the Dragons. Is that we just don't have that killer instinct to put teams away. Like that was an opportunity for us to really boost our for and against. The Titans were down and out. That was a chance for us to ram home that advantage, show no mercy. But instead, we just cruised to the finish line, and we're happy to have that our little win against the Gold Coast Titans. We need to be playing games out. We need to be playing for 80 minutes. We need to to not be showing mercy to these teams when
But if we start throwing the ball around and start doing fucking stupid shit,
we don't need to do that. We just need to keep doing what got us to that lead.
The Titans scored 3 tries in 5 minutes. All of a sudden, we're thinking, "Oh shit!"
Oh yeah, that's going to happen. The Titans were done, mate. The Titans did score 3 tries in 10 minutes because we took our foot off the gas. Like they scored a couple of tries late.
Yep.
Because we just stopped playing footy. We were happy to cruise to the finish line. Like, it's just a shit attitude for an NRL team to have, I reckon.
Because against the better teams, we're not going to be able to hold them out.
Well, we don't have to throw the ball around silly and play touch football. You just keep doing what you've done to get to that lead.
Exactly.
And you run away with it because they were so done. They were so there for the taking. Their body language was horrendous. They had no energy. They just had a player sent to the sin bin like that. They just looked like a team that was ready to concede 50 or 60 points, and we just didn't want to do it. So I was actually really disappointed that we didn't go on with it. All right, Billy.
We won. Who gives a shit?
Okay, well, if you're happy with that win and losing next week, then that's great.
Yeah.
We can lose next week.
If we played the top 4 on Friday night,
if we play like that, we'll lose next week.
Yeah, if we played the top 4 on Friday night, we would have lost, I reckon.
I mean that's all. That's all you say.
That's
it. Let's go. We won. Let's go. Hey hoo! Let's go.
Objection, he said.
All right, let's finish with the game with a positive, Billy. Finish with our man of the match. The Eagle has landed. He capped off a great performance with a try. He is the Mad Dragons podcast man of the match. What did you think of his performance?
Well, for a guy that's in his 3rd game of NRL, first grade, fucking hell.
First start.
Yeah, first start. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, that is probably one of the best performances from a rookie I've seen in ages. Like, that was absolutely amazing. He gained like
80 minutes.
Yeah, 80 minutes, 140 meters, like 40 tackles, try, a line break. Like, that's just outrageous stuff. So, mate, that's what you want to see from a Dragons player. If he can replicate that, or if he can go along the lines of that performance, we have a play on our hands for sure. The good thing is, too, we didn't let go of him. We actually re-signed him. So
that's right, yeah.
we got to win there. So, yeah, good performance from the Eagle, and can't wait to see how he plays next week. Probably could be matching up against Homoli if he's not injured. So we'll see how that goes.
He is a freaking monster, Homoli, but he was struggling. He was playing over here in Perth, and he was struggling for a long time before he went off injured. So, I don't know whether he might not be playing. Who knows? But we'll find out in the Tuesday show, which I'm pretty sure Jesse's hosting that one. And we'll Big T's behind enemy lines segment. You got any inside info on that, Big T?
Sorry, what was that, mate?
Any inside info behind enemy lines about Amole Olakau'atu? Is he going to play?
No, I haven't seen anything about it yet, so I'll keep my eye out. I'll keep my eye out on Scoop's pages. He's always got the big call. So look out for Scoop.
Yeah, Scoops. Make sure you follow Scoop's calls because you'll always be late to the party if you do.
There's a behind enemy lines for you.
Fashionably late.
See, Donnie, I've actually got Big T hosting that one.
Oh, there you go. Big T hosting.
I'll see what happens.
We've got Big T in charge of that one.
We'll have a look. See how we go.
There we go. Big T's that might be a hosting debut, mate. You were supposed to host, but we're off crook or something.
I was, that's right. I did.
All right, lower grades. You're on the Mad Dragons podcast, brought to you by Complete Warehouse Solutions. I'll go to you, Big T, with the New South Wales Cup. A good win, 44-12 over the Roosters. I know you watched this game with me this morning. Take us through your assessment.
I did. The halves for the Dragons played exceptionally. Glover kicked as many goals as he had to, and like in King Togia, what a great player he is. He's got to be putting pressure on the two boys up front. So yeah, Finau Latu had a great game, I thought. Plus our outside backs, they were killing it. Intercept tries left, right, and centre. I think there was 3 intercept tries from the Dragons. I think it was Finau and possibly Allen took the intercept tries and scored tries. So yeah, it was a fantastic game. It's good to see our reserve grade side going well, putting pressure on our first graders. So it's good to see for a change.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there was a couple of guys on their New South Wales Cup debuts in Jarrett Ruick scored a try in his New South Wales Cup debut, and Isaiah Fang'alillo also got a try in his New South Wales Cup debut. Truick was one of those intercept tries. The guy in the pink headgear. He'd been on the field about 2 seconds.
He was.
The commentator had no idea who this guy was. He's gone, and the player in the pink headgear has scored over the post. Had no idea who it was.
He was, that's right.
But
he done a good job.
He didn't say his name for the remainder of the game either.
No.
So, maybe he was just a little bit scared of saying Fang'alillo. So
that's what I said, Fang'alillo. Yeah.
So didn't want to get the pronunciation wrong.
That's right. But it was a great game. It was a great game. We really gave it to the Roosters. Our forwards were strong, and our backs were fast. It was good to see.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a very, very good win. The best win that we've had in New South Wales Cup. It's probably the most complete performance I've seen from the team. They've been winning without playing all that well, in my opinion. They did lose that one game to the Bears, but they've been winning without playing well. Yeah, Jesse said that's an easy pronunciation. I think it's more the FAG at the start of his name, mate. Might be the bit that gave the commentator a little bit of pause.
It depends on where he comes from. If he comes from Italy, it's Fang'alillo. If he comes from Italy, it's Fang'alillo. If he comes from the islands, it's Fang'alillo. So you haven't got a fucking clue.
No, you just take a guess and say it confidently, and that's how it's said from now on.
Or if it's like Finai, the G's an N.
Yeah, the G becomes a different letter. Yeah, no, it's a tough gig, but you've got to do the best you can, and ask if you're unsure and you've got the opportunity to ask the player, then most
breaking news, Donny. Breaking news.
4 weeks for Olakau'atu.
See, told you what's the scoop.
That's from Scoop. Jesse said earlier that he's fine, so we'll see which one's actually.
Who do you believe?
You're not going to believe Jared Sutton.
I know who I've got my money on. Jersey Flag, they are really struggling. They took on bottom of the ladder Roosters, and the Chooks Belgians 48-16. I turned this one off in disgust on the train on the way to the games here in Perth. Hard to pick anyone that was particularly impressive, but I'll give a shout out to Wes Pring, who I thought did a decent amount of work from fullback. And it was also nice to see Axel Anthony score a try in his Jersey Flag debut. So a few debutants getting across the stripe, always good to see. Our finals for the junior reps, and Tarpagale Cup Steelers are through to the preliminary final after a big 32-4 win over the Penrith Panthers. They dominated from start to finish. Tory Shipton is a constant threat in attack, and Heriwaka Pahatu was really good. Has really good instincts as a ball player in the 7. Whilst the entire forward pack were immense, they just physically dominated the Panthers. Bad losses in the other 2 games, though. The boys in Harold Matts and SG Ball both went down. This means that the SG Ball under-19 side is eliminated. The Harold Matts side, they finished as minor premiers and also got beat, but they do get another chance next week. So hopefully they can bounce back. All right, into some news and rumours. Hasman, I'll start with you. Finau Latu has allegedly toured the Newcastle Knights facility, also has met with the Bulldogs, according to Buzz. which is not Liam Fallon. It's the other less reliable Buzz. Thoughts on the possibility of losing Finau Latu?
I mean, first of all, I have to question which one of the two is less reliable. But no, I've been impressed with what I have seen from Latu. He's one of the players that I would like to see us keep, but as you've said 100 times, we can't keep them all. But he's one that I think we definitely need to keep.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. We can't keep them all. There is a lot. Like we've seen the volume of amazing talent, particularly in our forwards right now, that are coming through our systems. It's going to be impossible to keep them all, and there are going to be some disappointing losses. There are going to be players that are going to lose, and some of them are going to go on to play. Some of them are going to go. Well, I'm more talking about the forwards, but some of them are going to go on and play first grade and be very good first grade players. But we've got 8 to 10 first grade footballers in that are under sort of 21.
Yeah.
In our forward pack right now. You can't keep them all. You can't hold them all back because they're all starters at another club, sometime in the near future. So there's going to be some we're going to lose. But I agree with what you said, Hasman. Finau Latu should not be one of them. We've apparently offered him a multi-year deal. I don't know what sort of dollars we're talking about there, but he's been offered a multi-year deal. The ball's in his court. Hopefully he chooses to stay with the Dragons, but I think the Dragons made a mistake by allowing him to go to market. They could have signed him, could have extended his contract last year before he was able to talk to other clubs. And I remember when Shane Flanagan said, when it comes to Finau Latu, we've decided we're just going to wait and see. We're going to see how he develops. We're going to wait and see how he goes playing against men in New South Wales Cup before we make a move. Unfortunately, he's been very good, and other clubs have seen that he's very good. So now they've come knocking. They're allowed to talk to him. So we risk losing him. That's the game we've played, and we'll have to see how it plays out. I hope we keep him. I really hope we keep him. He's a great young player, but you can't keep them all. There's going to be some we're going to lose. We're just not going to have the best offer. But hopefully, surely we can outbid the Bulldogs and Newcastle. They can't have any money left.
Is there any oceanfront property we can offer him?
Maybe Gas got something
near the Wollongong Ocean.
Yeah, build him something.
Well, Rory McDonald's confident he will stay. Hopefully there is an announcement of that, and Rory's got better sources than Scoop does.
Well, could be
Big T.
any worse, could he?
Big T. We've heard all the rumours about LKT, but the other New South Wales Cup half, Jonah Glover, is also reportedly attracting some attention. Can we keep both? Will we keep on?
Oh, jeez. Not when we've got Atkinson coming. We've got Daniel Atkinson coming from Cronulla, and then we've got Kyle Flanagan's there for another 2 years. Ilias has got another year on his contract. So these boys are going to be, if he's not going to release them, let them play, they're going to be held back in reserve grade, and they're going to want to go. Because Parramatta are looking at liking King Togia, aren't they?
Well, Parramatta and Newcastle are the two clubs that I've heard looking at liking King Togia. The report that I saw with regards to Jonah Glover didn't mention a club that was looking at him, but I heard Newcastle were also looking at him.
Jesus, where's their money coming from?
Well, I mean, they've got Dylan Brown, so he takes up 90% of their salary cap, so every other player they get has to be a reserve grader. So they have to look at those sort of lower tier players that are going to play for minimum wage.
True.
But if we don't have a top 30 contract to give him, we're not even offering minimum wage. So, how many halves can you have in your top 30? I think max 4.
Maximum 4.
Maximum 4 halves in your top 30. I don't think you can carry any more than that. We've already got 3. So, like in King Togia, Jonah Glover only space for one of them, if either of them. So, hopefully,
Yeah.
we at least keep one. All right. Billy, forced and unforced changes now. Christian Tuipulotu suffering an injury. Word is that hopefully it's only 1, maybe 2 weeks max. But the question is, who comes in to replace Tuipulotu while he's out?
Personally, I would like to see Sione Finau. I'm pretty sure he's been all right in Cup. I haven't really got to watch much of the New South Wales Cup, but he seems to be doing well there. And from the preseason, that 30 minutes in the Charity Shield where he just fired on 4 tries, I would like to see it. He's got some pace. He looks like he's got a bit of energy about him, so it could be just like for like replacement. I would really like to see how he plays. So, Sione Finau, I think that's an easy one for me.
Yeah, I agree. I would love to see Sione Finau get an extended chance in the top grade, a chance for him to cement a spot in the top grade and show what he's got to offer. I have a feeling that Matty Finau's been 18th man a couple of times. He's the guy that's right on the periphery. Shane Flanagan seems to like him for whatever reason, prefers him over Finau. So I have a feeling that it might be Matt Finau. That wouldn't shock me if he was named on Tuesday, but if it was up to me, Sione Finau, I think he ran for almost 200 metres on the weekend. He scored 2 tries, including one of those intercept tries that Big T was talking about in the New South Wales Cup game. He played really well. The big thing with Sione Finau that I like was 0 errors as a winger. That's not an easy thing to do, to get through a game with 0 errors, and he did that on the weekend as well. So he's ticking every box. Defensively, I think there's still question marks, but isn't there question marks on every winger defensively? Does Matt Finau really tick that box? I don't think he does. I think he's had a lot of issues himself defensively.
Who's the better defender? Finau or Finau?
Oh, it's 6.5 dozen the other, isn't it?
Yeah, I would probably say Finau's the better defender, but you're talking about wingers. They're going to make 2 tackles a game.
Big highway, but you got to think about defence as well. I mean, Finau's got Finau well and truly covered attacking wise, but is that enough to make up for what he isn't in defence? That's the question that needs to be answered by Flano.
Yeah, well, according to Mohammed Dib, you're on thin ice because I've got to sign Big T and Jesse to long-term contracts. I don't think we've got enough money in the budget for you. So
I'll take a 10-year deal.
You're in strife, man.
I've already signed a Ben Hunt type deal, so I'm sweet.
Hey, you can piss off and do a Brisbane Broncos podcast.
He can do Western Australian Pirate. Oh, Bear, sorry, a Bear. Yeah.
Yeah, there's Bear in
there.
Yeah. With an option for 11, Jesse reckons.
I'll take it.
All right. Hasman, the other question, I mean, there's been nothing that's come out that he's likely to miss a game, but another concern has to be Toby Couchman's knee. I don't know exactly what the issue is, but is there a chance that Toby Couchman might need to miss a game or two and get a bit of a knee clean out or something along those lines? Because he did look like he was really struggling at times.
Look, I'm not 100% sure on that one. I wasn't aware. I'm not aware of the extent of it, but look, if he's carrying an injury, that probably needs to be addressed. He probably does need to sit out for however long it's going to take. Who we got to bring in? Maybe Loco finally gets a run. But the only way he's going to get a run, from what I can see about Flano. So no, I'm honestly not sure as to the extent, but If there is some sort of an issue, I have to think he does miss a week, maybe two.
Yeah, I mean, it looks to me like he's probably going to try and battle on. He's not the kind of bloke that's going to want to. He's not going to put up his hand and say, "I'm injured. I'm injured. Boston can't play." They're going to have to force him to sit out if he's going to. But well, Roy said, "I thought it was just a knock." He's taped up like a mummy, so I think he's carrying something there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Donnie, I think I've just found my villain for next week, regardless of what happens. Ian Johnson.
Ian Johnson's offering you $1.2 million over 10 years.
That's $1.20. It's $1.20.
$1.20.
$1.2.
Oh, it was 1.2 million. I was wondering what currency he was talking in.
Pesos.
You're in trouble, Mr. Johnson. You're in trouble.
All right.
Well, let's go test the market.
Oh, poor Steve.
We love him.
He's not even on to defend himself.
We love him.
That's 1.2 rupees. On it.
Yeah, I hate to tell Scoop this. He's already on Facebook Marketplace 3 to Big T.
Yeah.
Unforced changes. I'd like, and I know everyone seems to love Hamish Stewart, but I'd like to talk about Hamish Stewart. I know when we win a game, it's like everyone had a blinder, but Hamish Stewart, 8 runs for 54 metres, 5 tackles. I think he's been great, but is it time for the young bloke to have a bit of a rest?
Yeah. I look at it that way too. You bring the young blokes in, you give them 3 or 4 games, and they give them a rest. Because they're not going to be able to be like a Raymond Marin or a blocker and do it week after week after week. They're only new. Like, he's in his 5th or 6th game, in the Red V. So, yeah, I think they do need a break. And they got the other forwards coming through. And if he happens to play better than Hamish Stewart's going to battle his way back. But, yeah, I think after 3 or 4 weeks, you need a break.
Yeah. Yeah, I sort of thought that after last week that he was getting close, and I think in this game, again, he still kind of did his job, but the 5 missed tackles concerns me a little bit. Defence is his... That's the big thing that he brings to the table. He's got a great defensive technique, but starting to fall off a couple. I think fatigue of playing in the top grade week in, week out. It does tend to get to the young bloke, which is why we talk about blooding them, and that's exactly what Flanagan's done. He's blooded him perfectly. Now it's time to go back to Rezzies, have a bit of a rest, and then come back later in the season. That's what I'd be looking at for him. All right, Billy, viewer question. We've only got the one viewer question. Well,
Liam's got me $2.5 million over 4 years. That's 600. That's not bad.
Jesus. All right.
Wow. We're going well.
I did see there was somebody else. I think it was Rory McDonald who started a GoFundMe to try and make sure we keep it. All right, Billy. Viewer questions. So that only the one viewer question that I got sent through from everything NRL, and it's not Dragons related at all, but wants to get our thoughts on the Spencer Leniu, Jonathan Thurston blower. What were your thoughts on this?
Oh, I don't even know. I kind of watched a bit yesterday. I was on 9 News. They were just saying, Thurston went up to talk to him, and Leniu just didn't want to talk. He just didn't care. And to be fair, I kind of don't blame Leniu. This happened a year or over a year ago. Why is he coming to speak to him now? Why now?
No.
It should have happened last year if he wanted to speak to him. It's an irrelevant situation at this point. Like, that happened last year. I'm sure Leniu's gotten over it. Ezra Mam's gotten over it. They've moved past. They've probably apologised to each other. I just don't even find a need to go talk to him after the football game that he just played probably 40, 50 minutes in poor blood, sweat, and tears into. So I think Lenyu's in the right to say, I just don't care. I don't want to
Yeah,
talk.
I
You
agree with
know,
Spencer.
there's personal space too, and just about understanding that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I couldn't. I don't give a shit about either of them. I think they've both got points. I think Jonathan Thurston was right with some of the things that he said at the time when it occurred. I think Spencer Leniu is a racist piece of shit, and should have got a longer suspension than he actually got. So I think Jonathan Thurston was right about that. But at the same time, I think Spencer Leniu is right that Jonathan Thurston's a little bit of a hypocrite by not coming out as strongly against Ezra Mann when he's done the wrong thing as well. So he's
Yeah,
been completely silent on that issue
yeah,
with him, and I think what Ezra Mann did was worse than what Spencer Leniu did. Uh, so and he got a piss poor weak ass suspension as well. So I think they've both got questions to answer in terms of what's going on, why it's been raised now. I have absolutely no idea. But it's all blown up. It's all a bit of a storm in the teacup and a bit of fun for people to talk about. But who gives a shit about either of them? Yeah, I'm not too fussed. We did have another question that came through, and I better give this one to you, Big T, because you watched the reserve grade game.
oh,
What did you think of Cody Ramsey's performance?
I'll tell you, if he's not ready, he's close to ready coming back into first grade. Some of his runs from the back, his weaving runs, he gets the ball and he weaves through them all. He does what does what Reece Walsh does. He's a weaver. He gets through, makes runs, makes 50 metres off the kick return. His defence was good. So yeah, no, if he's not ready to play first grade again, he's pretty close to it.
Yeah. No, I agree with everything you said. I'd like to see Cody Ramsey his work rate be a bit more. I think the style of fullback that's been successful now, you watch a guy like Jai Gray, a small fullback, he doesn't bring a lot of bulk, but the work that he does in around the middle of the field, he'll be taking hit-ups and firing in behind the ruck. The
Oh
touch
yeah,
which Ramsey is doing is quality. He's making players miss. He's very evasive. He's doing some good things. I just don't think he's quite doing enough of that to be considered for
yeah,
top grade honours just yet. But
yeah.
I mean, it's a remarkable story. The way that
He's
he's
coming
bouncing
back.
and
He's an inspiration, isn't he? He's an inspiration to all young kids who've got illnesses that you can overcome them and become a champion. Because if he's not back in the NRL side in 2 years' time or next 2 years, I don't know where he'll be. But yeah, he might not be at the Dragons.
yeah, well, I guess it's a sad reality of the business that we're in. Is does Cody Ramsey's not currently in our top 30?
That's right. Yeah,
We've effectively got to create a space for him next year. Now that he is back and playing football, we've got to create a space for him in our top 30 if we want
yeah,
him to stick around at the club.
yeah.
Is there a chance? Is there a chance that doesn't happen, Hasman?
Um, look, I think from what I've seen from him, I mean, the fact that he's even playing football again is
Yeah.
and nothing short of a miracle. Uh, and the fact that he's been playing as well as he has been, even in the lower grades, is an even bigger miracle. But does he have a place in the first grade squad? Next year, who knows? But I think we do need to create a space for him so that if he can keep going the way he's going, we have the option of bringing him in. And it also gives us another option at fullback, in case, Gutho gets injured and Sloan, does some Sloan things and gets out of form. We've got to have another option there. He's got to be that option. So, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We need him in the squad.
Yeah, Jesse said you wouldn't replace our back three. I don't think Tyrell Sloan is guaranteed a position in the side right now. No, I know he scored a couple of tries on the weekend, but I thought
That's
in
his
that
job.
opening half an hour he was pretty average. Like he finished off a couple of tries. I didn't think he was great by any means, and I don't think he's been great over the opening few weeks of the competition. Now, I wouldn't put Cody Ramsey in right now. I think he's not going to play NRL in 2025 at all. He will not play NRL this year. So forget about that. But no, there's nothing to say that he couldn't replace Tyrell Sloan on a wing next year. If he puts on a little bit more weight and he comes back and he's firing. So would you replace one of our back three? I think Tyrell Sloan is under enormous pressure to keep hold of that wing spot, and I think he's under enormous pressure as it is from guys like Sione Finau, guys like Matty Feeney, guys like Nathan Lawson going really well. Corey Allen had a good game on the weekend, could go onto a wing. I think Tyrell Sloan's already under a lot of pressure from the guys that we've got right now.
Agreed.
So I think there is opportunities for somebody to come into our back three. Whether that's not going to be Cody Ramsey this year, but in the future it certainly could be. All right. Well, we might wrap it up there. So I told you in my wrap up last week that the Dragons would give us as many good moments as we get back, and we will never really know what to expect from this team. We can beat any team in the comp. I am confident in saying there is no team in the comp we couldn't beat. I don't think there's a single team in this competition that looks forward to playing the Dragons, because if we turn up and play our best footy, there's nobody that can stop us. Now, that might be arrogant, but we played our best against the Melbourne Storm and we beat them. I think they're the benchmark of this competition. The problem is that sightings of that version of the Dragons might be rarer than Bigfoot. There's still been nothing from the Dragons to indicate that they can perform at a high level consistently. All right, that's the last you'll hear from me for 3 weeks. I'm off on holidays with my family for a while. It'll be almost a month until I'm back on the podcast. So you'll be in the very capable hands of Jesse, Big T, and Hasman. And we talked about contracts this year for the panel members. You might not want me back, because I think the Dragons are going to win at least 3 of the next 4 while I'm away, and then everyone will be convinced that I'm a curse, and you simply want me to come back. You want me to stay where I am forever. And we might leave it there. So come on, Dragons fans. Fire!
I want to be in that number when the Saints go marching in.
The Saints.
Go march to play.
When the Saints beat
Poor Tui nearly drowns.
Yeah. we do waterboarding every week.
Begin to
It's good to see.
Coco is at Panel's heart, she wears it on her sleeve. As Mustard tells tales of dragons, wins and tuna victory. Tony and the NB crew will do their very best, hitting up topic and I digress with a red V on our chest. The Mad Dragon podcast is a sheep of camaraderie, navigating rants down rabbit holes in the land of big wet feet. And so our peddlers speak the tales, and our friendship is our dream. The Mad Dragon podcast,